All right, my friends, here we go. This is the Graduate Show. And I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but in contrast to last week when I did 3 million graduations in one day, today we're just doing the under 1,000, but that said, there's quite a few people we're going to get to here today. I'm just setting up a touch. Boom. Okay, so we had an April Fool's stream yesterday. We put it on YouTube, and dude, man, I would say the vast majority of people were fooled. They were totally fooled, dude. Okay, let's get into it. This is Jay Hamburglar. Let's give him a follow. He looks like maybe he doesn't have. It looks like he's done some tactics and stuff. Let's see, you got a tactics rating. He's done some of that. Okay. So, clubs. We got some clubs. Oh, he's in Maryland with me, buddy. Okay. Moms and dads. Great. He's got loads of games, dude. Loads of games. He's playing the fast games. Makes sense. Let's click this bad boy. Boom. Nope. That one's not annotated. Boom. Not annotated. Okay, Jay. So, you're doing great. Let's actually look at what tactics you've done here. So, boom. Everyone's first chess workbook. Great. That's great. Okay, and some mate ones, all this stuff. Beautiful. So what we want for next graduation is for you to annotate some games, and then I'll go over one over here. Udwituk says, I did dislike Mramnik as much as the next guy, but the part about him probably cheating on his wife was way out of line. So now what you see there is someone who didn't realize that it was an April Fool's stream, you know? So we had dude, you look at the YouTube comments and people were really taking it seriously, dude. They were making subjective sounding comments and stuff. We fooled it so hard that I think we pissed some people off because they just didn't realize that it was an April Fool's stream. I was out of line still. I don't know. We said some outrageous things, dude. We said some outrageous. That's the point of an April Fool's stream. You're going to say some outrageous stuff. Okay, so let's get it going. And that was Jay Hamburglar. We're going to keep going now. The next up is Marcus. Marcus says, my first graduation on the dojo. Really happy to be here. Want to congratulate the dojo for the excellent job. Like the design of the site and the training concepts, namely playing longer games and reviewing them by yourself or with your peers. According to other literature, this is the best way to improve. I already got in touch with some peers on this site, Fran and Steph, and I'm looking forward to meet more people to help each other out play better chess. Great. So, all right. Look at this beautiful graph that he's got going on. He's done a bunch of stuff. This is a lot of times when you're just beginning chess and you join the dojo, you do some work, it's just boom. This is beautiful progress you can have very quickly. Okay, so I have a feeling we might get a game here. We got loads, dude. So this is a 45-45, great. Now, something I want to stress is when you look at our recommended time controls, he doesn't have to play 45-45. That's longer than he has to play. However, definitely the longer you can go, the more we'd rather see that. I got some videos out there about what your time graph says about your game. Interesting. And soon, I think the biggest video of all. But anyways, that's still, our dev team is still working on that. All right, first let's take a look at the time graph. Here we go. And we're going to say that this is far better than, let's say, this cohort's usual time graph. But we definitely want to see more time used by both players. you know. Okay, game review. What are the graduation levels is the question. Let's see, if we go material, then we go rating conversions. Here you can see our amazing rating conversion chart here. And so I think right now, wait. Sorry about that. This is our amazing game conversion chart. And I probably had the scene all messed up before. Anyways, here you can see it. All the different, actually you can't see it too well. So, but I'll just say at the the far left, at the far left is 0 to 300 for the dojo, then 3 to 400, 4 to 500, and on up. And then we translate it to ChessCom Rapid and stuff. So our 0 to 300 is 0 to 550 ChessCom. Okay, let's go back. Boom. Game review. So, E5's fine. Bishop D3 is a little weird. I like your annotations. On the other hand, the fact that it develops is, still doing good. Okay. Poor. I was not happy about the diagonal D1, H5. Okay. So what would have been better? Knight G3 followed by moving the bishop, moving the pawn. H3 is a waste of time. C4, don't like it. Knight G3 or bishop C4. Knight G3. So I want you to see that you are making a gazillion pawn moves, right? Not good. I'm not really sure what that does either. I'm not sure what that does. Good move, finally. Not sure what that does. So one of the main things, let's just say we give this spiel every under 1,000 grad show, or I give this spiel. The things that will get you over 1,000 are 3, and I'm going to list them in order of importance. 1, getting a grip on the board, which it can also be said as not losing your stuff, taking your opponent's stuff. Knows all, thank you for being here. Number 2, taking your time. And that when we say taking your time, we mean on the clock. Most players under 1,000 are not able to physically sit there and think. And third, the least important, but still important, also the easiest to learn, is to develop your pieces. So we see that black has made at least 2 moves which didn't develop anything, and white has made several moves also that didn't do anything. That's also not a developing move. What do we want you to do? We want you to castle. And now E4 looks like it wins a piece. He misses it. Now, let me just stress, this is why the first thing I said is the most important, because it will actually decide the game. Moves like E4, right? That is going to be the thing that decides the game. The other stuff is important, but, E4 falls on you, that's it. Castles, bishop E4. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what black's doing. Notice that black doesn't have any plan to fix that knight. It's still no one knows where it's going. Good move, I like that one. Okay. Rook B1, I don't know what that does. I think a good move here might be something like knight D2. You gotta do something with a knight. I don't know what the rook does. Yeah, it looks like you just lost a pawn there. Not sure what it does. And now he's finally coming at you. I don't know why he can't take your knight. Now, so one of the things I want to stress here that's so important is what happens in your annotations is I think what happened to you energetically in the game. You stopped doing annotations. There's all kinds of interesting stuff from here on out to talk about, right? The game is just beginning. And you stopped, right? We see this a lot, right? And we saw it in your time graph as well. You weren't really thinking, nor was your opponent. Okay? So, again, 3 things: getting a grip on the board, not hanging stuff. Taking your time. Taking your time will help you not hang stuff. Right? All right. Well done. We're going to hit reviewed. Next up, we have I Wish I Were Decent, who I recognize because we've had this guy on the show a bunch of times. He says, I'm excited to graduate once again. I won my first ever competitive game in the Dojo Classical Tournament and have seen incredible progress in my rapid games from the experience I've gained playing slower time controls. Hoping to play my first competitive OTB next weekend in my monthly local USCF tournament, but I'm highly encouraged by the progress I've been making. Just realized that I was doing the tactics test wrong and not including more than one line from my opponent's moves, so hopefully now I will be able to get my tactics rating up on the dojo. But between the Polgar's tactics and EFCW, along with my new project chess tactics from scratch, I'm starting to see tactics in my games and capitalize on them. One thing we want to stress at the dojo, one of the pillars of the dojo, is we wanted to create a program with not necessarily with the claim that it's the best, but with the claim that if you do not go doing things on your own, it will help you. So, for example, you've started this new project with chess tactics from scratch. It's a great book, but we have it for a much later cohort. And the reason is it's a little bit beyond where you are right now, right? You might find it interesting in the same way you might find, I don't know, Alekine's Best Games interesting, but it's not what you need to do right now. And if you trust the dojo, you'll get there eventually. You'll get there eventually, but it will save you all of the head scratching, not to use the word twice. Too much head scratching and fretting about what you should be doing. My son and I are celebrating my graduation with chess burgers tonight. I wonder what a chess burger is. I just want to thank everyone in the community for being so helpful and generous with their time and knowledge. This is by far the most helpful thing I have ever done for any of my hobbies. Thank you. Okay, that's beautiful. Here we go. This is I Wish We're Decent, the 3rd graduation. All right. I've got a 6-year-old son. He's not interested. He's not interested, dude. Okay. So you're beating me in the parenting game. Now you can see his heat map is looking amazing. I feel like, gosh, I'm gonna adjust it real quick. Let's just see if I can make a little jadooby. I just want a little. Oh darn it! Yeah, I just want a little jadoobs here. Just a touch to see all his business. I feel like I had it set up right and now I don't like it anymore. Oh, darn it. I know, it's taking forever. I just want everybody to see the beautiful heat maps that we have up here. Right? Look at these heat maps. All right, that's about as good as it's going to get for the moment. Okay, so back over here, dude has done a bunch of tactics and did some checkmate tests and stuff. And this looks like he's going to make it soon again. Wish I were decent here. Yeah. So 615, beautiful graph. Clubs. Amazing. Maybe he's got that chestnut e-board working for him. Games. And here, let's just do the one. Boom. With this win, I am going to graduate. Jesse, if you review this game for the graduation, please do not be too harsh on my tactics test scores. You mentioned that in the business. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, so first, let's see. Do we got a time graph? Oh dear. Oh dear. There it is. My first screaming session of the morning. People moving way too fast. Yeah. So basically, neither of you were using your time. So if I'm going to yell at you. This is the thing I'm going to yell at you. Again, this is one of one of three things that you have to fix to make 1,000. All right, here we go. He admits he played it too quickly. Fine. 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 Little odd. Fine. Now, interesting question. You played D takes E4, and you played it quickly. And the thing to say about it is, are you winning a coconut on E4, or is it some kind of trap? You are down in development, so when you take that coconut, it's definitely dangerous, okay? So definitely more than 17 seconds. I guarantee you if I was playing this, it would be more like 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure I don't want to take the coconut too. All right, now he takes back, and you go for it. Now, White has several things to consider. The most obvious, I think, is rook e1. Rook e1 could continue like this, for example. Oh no, what's happening here? I don't know. It looks like a mess. I'm scared though. I don't want any part of it. So, your opponent finds that. Probably not the strongest. Bishop g2, queen d7, poor. Boom, boom, boom. Good move. Now he's in a tough situation. Now, why did this happen? Let's go back, and if you can just look with me for a second. He plays, all of my business is a little funny today. Just want to say, it's all a little funny. I don't know why it's a little funny, but it's a little funny. Somehow my settings got wrong. What got wrong? I don't know. So where's my window? Oh, just leave me alone here. There we go. This must be fixed. Give me a second, my friends. So we want something more like this and like that. And can we move it over a touch? Good. I think that's exactamundo, kind of what we want. And I can make this bigger here. I'm whispering here. So the reason I needed to do it is I want you to see when he plays queen d7, he played that in 3 seconds. Right? So this is what we're talking about. This is the thing holding people back from taking it to the next level. Okay. All right, so what are we up now? We're up a rook. Good move. Good move. Fine. Poor. Thank you. That was it. Okay. Why did he play gf4? Because he wasn't thinking. Right? All right, well done. Congratulations. We're going to see you again, buddy. We're going to see you again, especially if you slow down. All right, so grad show. Next up, we have Big Eldrazi. He doesn't have anything to say to us directly. Maybe something over here on his profile. Big Eldrazi has graduated before. I'm following him. He still hasn't told us anything about himself. He's got a little bit of a Big Lebowski look going on over here. Okay, has done some tactics and is crushing on the tactics, looking really good. So that's already a beautiful thing. We got this. Do you see this? He's got the tactics champion badge. I actually want to fix that one because they're tall smoking. I don't care about that, but I know there's parents out there who'd be like, I don't want to see my kid seeing some smoking thing going on. But we're going to fix that. Anyways, congratulations on the tactics thing. You're going to be able to graduate again, really, and still you'll be a tactics champion. All right, clubs. Nothing. Tell us this. See, clubs are one way for me to gain a sense of where you are, something about you, you know. Here we go. This is Big Eldrazi playing over here. To see a time graph. There it is, my friends. You see what we're talking about here. Too fast. Basically, you took more time annotating this game than you did playing it. Fine. 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 A little weird. And now this is horrendous. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Let's read what you write. With the idea of knight h7 to later move it to a more offensive position while also liberating the queen's diagonal. Okay. Knight bd7 is another option. Let's just say, just on a principled, perspective, what is the normal move? It would be knight c6. We have no idea what white's going to do next, but that's where our knight belongs. All right. h5. Weird, right? Not developing. Knight h7. To me, knight g4 looks more threatening. g3. You're obsessed with the g5 square. f3. Nobody gets it. No one knows. And then you say b6 and you don't like it too much. I understand what you're doing. What do I want you to do, by the way? I want you to bring out your knight. c5. To me, it looks like he's just hanging a coconut. He's hanging a coconut. All right. Interesting. Now, it looks like he's just hung his business here. Yeah. So I think that's a good move. I don't know. Now his rook's hanging. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Rook takes a2 is fine. I mean, taking the knight is fine. You're up a lot of things. Ooh, that's weird. Here I made the mistake to just not take the rook. So definitely weird. Now notice, you should not be needing to turn on the engine here. You're talking about +8, Because really, I mean, let's just say, what would I want you to do? I want you to just take the knight. Now, is rook a2 fine? Fine. But I don't want you to make it complicated. I want you to make it easy. I want you to make it simple, right? And the engine's going to tell you all kinds of crazy things. And here, what you want to do is you want to just say, I've stolen a bunch of his coconuts. I want to trade them off, right? No need to get fancy. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew posted us on the YouTube talking about our amazing video. Some people, dude, they didn't. We already had someone come in and say, dude, that was not cool what you said about Kramnik. I mean, it wasn't cool, but it was an April Fool's, man. All right, here we go. Stinky Little Ghost is here. And Stinky Little Ghost says, I feel like competition is getting fiercer and my progress is slowing down a bit. I think that's a great realization. Chess is brutal. When you start going up, it's just going to get more and more competitive. Was watching some Danya speedruns, and in that rating range, his opponents was blundering queens left and right while I'm being crushed by opponents who have memorized the knight or 17 moves deep. Trust me, those aren't the people you got to worry about. Anyway, I'm quite fond of the program, which I've had a lot of use of. I've taken the liberty of adding a lot of tactical drills for myself, most of them related to chess vision conceptualization. Remember what I said earlier. If you trust the dojo, you're not going to have to worry about all this other weird stuff, right? All of that stuff will come when it's supposed to come. We have what you need right now. And further, like I said before, you don't have to believe that we have the best program ever. Just the thing, if you trust it, you'd be like, right, then I don't have to think about it. I just have to do what these jerk faces are telling me to do. I've also doing some live chess in my local club, but finding it hard to get games that adhere to dojo standards, so I end up doing most of my classical games online rather than OTB. Regardless, I feel like I'm progressing, and I appreciate the structure and visual guides on the site, as well as the community and options for finding chess partners. Correct. All right, Stinky, let's go take a look. Look at that beautiful heat map there. And he is truly doing a lot of tactics, and you can see that's when it's striped like that means it's non-dojo tactics that he's doing. For example, he should take one of our tactics tests and checkmate tests to get a sense of where he is. Other than that, though, his tactics looking good. Tactics maybe not the problem. All right, clubs. European, Danish, great. Don't worry, we're not going to take Greenland, buddy. I don't think we're going to go to... I really don't think so, but I don't think we're taking Greenland. It's just my guess. All right. I did have an amazing historical thought about Greenland, though. Okay, so there's the activity, a lot of tactics, and now let's take a look at a game. 45-0. Now here's a thought here. So Stinky is definitely overperforming with the tactics, okay? And the only reason he doesn't have the tall badge is he hasn't done our tactics tests, right? So the theory would be something else is wrong. And so we're going to see in this 45-0 game, for example, did dude take his time? Simple, maybe he did. I don't know. We're going to find out. Here's Stinky. Time graph? Oh, it's not in here. Be good to see the time graph. All right, so now we go game review. All right, boom. You're doing fine. Good move. Good move. Knight h5, fine. Okay. Fine. Fine. You're doing great. ED4. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'd rather play maybe rook e8. D5 is also a cool move because it threatens this. All right. Bishop g4. And now this is definitely a mistake here, d5. The value of this pawn was that it was blocking off your beautiful bishop. Good move. Good move. I don't like knight f3. My plan here was to simplify, but in retrospect, the better option was c6. Good. And now you got to go back, and we didn't like that. By the way, you're still doing great. King g2. All right. a6. This would be an example of where I want to see your time graph. Because honestly, this is a position which I think demands a little thought. Yeah. There's a lot of questions here about what to do. I'm drawn to rook e5, and then I would start calculating e4, bring this rook over. I'm then threatening rook d5 and intending f5. Now, is that the best plan? I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a little bit. See what I'm saying? This is what we're saying. So a6, knight e4. I don't know. Queen b5. I guess that was your intention. Okay. Now, it's weird because you could have taken this pawn 1,000 times, but now you're inviting the rook to b7. Right? So, here's a key moment, and you talk about rook b2 seeming good for white. Correct, because he gets the rook on b7. So that was a very good variation. And now you need a good move. You played b6, and here you missed something. On c6, he cannot play rook takes b7 because your coconut is guarding it, right? So c6 is actually a totally crushing move for you because now the knight's going to be, I was going to say excavated. Does that make sense to call it excavated? Anyways, it's going to get excavated. And now you have a c7 weakness. e4 looks soft to me, like maybe rook fc1. Now notice, well, yeah, rook fc1. There he finally finds it. And then you say, white wins, but I feel like I put up a decent fight. Why does white win? The game's just beginning, bows. It's just beginning here. Just because it didn't go our way doesn't mean we got to resign. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, Stinky, there's a couple things in here I want to stress. I think, obviously, your tactics are much higher than your rating. My gut here is that, even though we don't see the times, that you're moving too fast. But maybe more importantly, we have a situation here where you're giving up prematurely. Now, is he technically winning? If you're facing a GM, would you be lost? Yes. But you're not facing a GM here. You are not. Sample continuation could be pop, 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 here, and I don't know, here. And we'll try to harass him with rook e2. Is he technically winning? Yes, but you are not playing somebody who's going to be able to knock you out like this. Okay. So I think we're going to see more Stinky soon. Next up, we have JDW. And what does JDW say? I'm already following JDW because he has already graduated once before. Okay, so his tactics rating also looks amazing. And again, you get the tactics badge when your average rating is above that of your cohort when you do these other things. Okay, so beautiful. Clubs, 50 plus, I'm in that one. We got 111 members, Bows. We're strong. The old dudes are strong. Okay, good. Games, we got a game. Now, I might have already looked at this one because he graduated recently. No, I haven't looked at this one. All right, time graph. Let's see what we got. Ah, there it is, my friends. There it is. Okay, so there you see it. One of the things I'll just stress again and again, I've done some videos about this. Me telling you to move slower is not going to just do it on its own. That is to say, the knowledge that you need to move slower will not instantly make you move slower. Because what this is showing is probably an anxiety about being online and kind of you haven't been habituated to think deeply about chess. And so those things combined will contribute to this kind of time graph. Now, maybe you could sit on your hands a little bit, and that would help. That would be a first step, right? Just recognizing, of course, that this is a massive problem is part of the journey. All right, game review. Here we go. H3 is a little soft, not developing. D5, terrible. Giving up a pawn and not developing. Notice, black did it with 4 seconds. Thank you. Good move. And now you played knight f3, which is definitely poor. And you're right, this was probably a mistake. Notice, you played this in 11 seconds, my friend. 11 seconds. So what was correct Mundo? You have 2 moves here that are great. The simple one is rook e1. Look at this, by the way. You have more time now than you started with. But knight c3 is also kind of clever, because if queen takes, then rook e1, we win the queen. All right, now at least black could have murdered your pawn structure with knight takes f3. They don't. Now we want, that's fine. We want rook e1 at some point here. Oh, that was terrible. Bang! Look at that. Welcome to the dojo. Welcome to the dojo, buddy. Very nice. I like your development. Good. Simple chess. Nice. Oh, good move. Oh, very nice. Oh, that was a bad one. Yeah. So that would have been a cold shower there if he had found knight takes f3. And now we're just winning again. I like that bishop g3 stuff you did. I like that stuff. I like that stuff. I like that stuff. I like that stuff. Good. All right, he finally gave up. Now, one of the things I want you to see here, we both played too fast for the time control, and I was the most guilty. Yeah, okay, good. Good. Again, that's one of the 3 things you need to do to make it over 1,000, excuse me. Okay, we continue. So, next up is Mark. What does Mark got to say? Mark, tell us something about yourself, buddy. He has done some tactics, not too much. 700, okay. So, the tactics are a little, he hasn't done much, but he's using the USEF. By the way, plaudits. Normally people at this level aren't doing OTB, and definitely laudable. It probably will take you longer than your peers just because your peers, they're just getting more games in that are rated. Now, you can play online games too, but I'm just saying, like, when you're playing OTB, maybe what are you going to get at one tournament a month or something like that, right? So this is great that you're making this progress. Let's go look at the tactics you're doing just real quick here. So, tactics, maiden ones, beautiful. You're doing the right things. Okay, good. So, games. So these look, this says 1 plus O. I don't even want to look at 1 plus O. But it looks like it might be an April Fool's game. All right, let's go to the other one. I'm scared of 1 plus O, and I'm scared of the April Fool's game. All right, do we have time? We don't. So I think this is a real game, i.e. an OTB game. We'll mark this as reviewed, and then we'll... By the way, whenever I mark something as reviewed, it just sends a message, I think, to the person saying, hey, your game was reviewed, and then tells them how you can find it. So bishop c5. And now he notes the trick there with knight e5. It's not the end of the world for black. Bishop c4. Good move. Fine. Fine. This has been seen a gazillion times. At this point, I'm never sure what to do. This opening always feels a bit aimless for both white and black. Well, okay, let's talk. The opening is very interesting. White has an extra tempo. Let's start there. So white should be a little bit better. The reason you should be very suspicious of the move knight d4 is, if nothing else, it's giving away more time. And the thing that's mildly frightening is this knight coming to d5. So the most basic move you could do, I think, is bishop e6. Bishop g4 also makes sense, copying him. It's going to get hot either way. It's actually a very tense position because knight d5 stuff is going to come. Quad xc, hello. Knight d4, pop. Pop. Knight d5, good move. Now we're in a little trouble. c6. Bishop f6, poor. Now, I would not call it a blunder. To me, a blunder is if you hang a piece or something. Okay. Now, by the way, this thing with the engine, I don't know, maybe the engine's saying bishop h4, maybe bishop h4 is fine. Bishop h6 is kind of, let's call that the human move, right? All right. Okay, interesting, f5. f3, that's not it. That's definitely not it. So queen h5, good move. Good analysis. That is exactly the kind of thing white should be looking for. f3. Queen g5, I love this move because not only does it win a tempo, it is putting your lady around your man, and your man needs a little help these days. Okay, a little soft. No one knows where that knight's going. Queen h4. I like queen e3, fine. Good move. Now he developed your bishop for you. You're doing great. Let's play d5 now. Yeah, buddy. That wasn't it. Ooh, very nice move. Very nice move. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Now, how did this guy get wasted? He wasn't developing his coconuts. It's that simple. All right, very good. Next up, we have Gunny. This is Gunny's first graduation. Let's go take a look. Gunny, tell us something about yourself. Joined beginning of this year. Pretty good heat map. He's been doing some non-dojo tactics. What is it, buddy? How come people are all crazied out doing non-dojo things? Okay. So, we have to say, Gunny, that you didn't actually make it because you're at 734 here. Okay? So, in tactics is 618. Made it to 1028. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to... Maybe we could say he made it, and then after he graduated, he tilted and went back down. All right, so we're going to assume that happened. We'll take a look. I want to see what non-dojo tactics he's doing here. A little bit unclear. All right, so. All right, let's see if he's got a game here. Gunny's got all kinds of games here. This is Gunter Goossens. He's playing he is Gunter Goossens. That's his name. All right, so this is a game Gunter is playing against Abdullah here. Take a look at the time graph, and we're going to say not unreasonable at all by both players. In fact, we're going to say that's a pretty good looking time graph. All right, good. So far, so good. Poor. Good move. Good move. Poor. Yeah. In knight g4, you're just attacking two coconuts. Now, the thing that we really want you to see, though, is in this position, you played knight d5 in 8 seconds. Okay? So you definitely took more time to write this note than you did moving the piece, right? Okay. And would you have found it? I think so, yeah. Okay. Poor. Why is this poor? Because your bishop is already out. It's already doing something. Poor because I don't know why you put it down there. Boom. Okay, poor. Now, here's an interesting thing. Let's see what you write. Was considering which pawn to use to take back and chose to move toward the center. Computer analysis favors the other pawn, but don't really understand this. Okay, let's talk about why. Again, I'd prefer not using the computer. E takes is much stronger because it liberates the bishop, right? And puts you in a position where you're going to wail on not only the pawn, but you're going to talk to the white king over here. Not developing. And you say, thank you very much. I think this is fine. Oh, maybe it isn't fine. I take it back. Take it back. Okay, so I can make a mistake too. So you needed to play bishop d7. We're about to find out what the mistake was. Knight c7, and now if rook b8, this thing is hanging. Now, I want you to see that when you play rook b8, you are going to lose a pawn and the exchange. Yeah. Unless you're trapping the knight, which I don't think you are. Okay? So in that case, you wanted to play instead bishop d7. And he gets your exchange, but you have a valuable center pawn and the game goes on. So rook b8's a mistake. Good move. Bishop b8, rook b8, And now he plays c4, and that looks like a mistake. The simple move for him, I think, is just to play a4, because then the knight will be able to get out. And now knight a6 is a blunder. Yeah. Now I still think they're doing fine after knight b5 though, right? Okay, cd5. White should definitely strive to trade rooks here. That's a cheap shot. Look, h5 at 18 seconds. It's a cheap shot. He's got one threat to take your pawn. Just defend the pawn, bud. Some way, or push it. You're doing great. I don't want you to give him the pawn. This is just a cheapie here. Now, we should talk f4. Obviously, mistake. Rook b4, good move. Good move, and now he's completely toast here. Okay. So, normally we would stop here. But let's just see why the game lasted so long. Very nice. Okay. All right. I think these are all good takeaways. Yeah. And your opponent found that knight c7, bishop a7 thing, so that was useful. I also think this is a kind of decision where you want to be thinking about which, yes, there is a cool rule to say you should take towards the center, but more importantly, we want to fix our coconuts, right? Okay, well done. And next up, we got Wicked Pawn. Just started the program, all right. This is an old retired guy trying to improve his chess. Follow. I love the old guys. I'm an old guy myself. Now, he's at 935. So this dude, he's ready to go again. He's ready to graduate again. Lives near Austin, Texas. Our dev guy, Jack, lives in Austin. And also Knows All, who just had a kid, but is still, I think I saw him in the chat earlier. He's in Austin too. Now, He's actually, I didn't see it earlier. He says, just popping in to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the April Fool's stream. Oh, man, so many people took it seriously, man. We were in trouble. I bet some people quit the dojo, honestly. They were like, I can't believe you're saying this. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, man. Okay. So he has just joined the dojo. He is graduating, ready really to graduate again. Okay, and you can see this little got a green mark. So he did 8 hours last week, and then the progress followed. So clubs, I'm in the 50 plus as well. 112 people. I don't know if you remember, but we looked earlier, there was 111, I believe. So I think we just got a new member somehow in there. All right. Let's go games. We got some with the Bishop Gill. No, just Bishop. Just Bishop, buddy. Here we go. So, click it, please. And we will first look at ye old time graph. Now, this looks like a 30-minute game. And, right, a little too fast from you, and your opponent is definitely moving way too fast. Okay. So far, fine. Knight c6 is a little weird, but I'm not going to say anything. Now, this is definitely a mistake. Okay, big mistake your opponent could have taken here. Poor, not developing. Good move. Poor, not developing. A little weird. I want you to castle. Little weird, I want you to castle. Little weird, I want you to castle. Look, bring your people out. Bring them out. Okay. Good. Okay. Weird, no one knows. Poor, I want rook b8 instead. The knight doesn't belong on a7. Now, you've been obsessed with pushing those pawns over there for a while. And you said knight c6 would be better to prepare for g5. I think you mean b4. Yeah. So what's the problem? You're not bringing all your people in. And notice b4, you're not even threatening anything. Bishop e5, we hung, and that's what happens. We hung a coconut. Bishop b7 looks like a big problem because doesn't rook b1 win this coconut? Right? And then we lost this one. Okay, so we're down a couple pawns. All right. That's a blunder. Bang. Yeah. Boom. Thank you very much. Now, what is the main reason your opponent lost all his coconuts? Because it didn't use his time. See? Right there. Didn't use his time. Mogarak got stung by our April Fool's prank. He got stung. Yeah. Okay, so well done. And now we'll go back. So one of the key things just to say, right, is when you are playing at the under 1,000 level, your opponents will not have the ability to think long. That doesn't mean everyone, just a vast majority of your opponents won't have the ability to think long. And so you taking advantage of that, one of the key things to recognize. They also, like that last opponent, won't develop their coconuts. So that's just another simple way in which you can beat these people. The most important thing, which is developing board vision, which you can see, or grip. People have different words for it. We had a guy on, a scholastic guy named Matan Prolitensky. We had a podcast with him, and he used the word board vision, so I just picked it up. I like the word grip a little bit more. But in any case, learning to get that grip takes more time. That just takes more time, right? All right. Was done a little early, and I get to do one thing myself. First, actually, let me just make sure. By the way, any point you want to submit a game for us to look at, you don't have to graduate. You can do this Sensei game review queue, and it would give me a little icon there if it was ready for me to do. Now, I get to play just one blitz game.